Music Microwave Podcast.
Yo, I was thinking what you can do, like, once it's done, you usually, like, have everything done in post. You can probably, like, you can take the MP3 and then put, like, a picture and then just put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then just so people can listen to it. Like Wado be doing, he'll just have, like...
See, first of all, why was that, like, extremely simple?
But
I didn't even think about just doing that like
it's
that.
It's super simple. That's how Wado, that's how people do it.
I definitely need to go ahead and
put
do
a
that.
picture of yourself up. Or,
I'm just going to put the MMP logo
up
and then just let it rock.
Let it rock,
But why didn't I do that from the beginning?
I don't know, man. You ain't never been up and coming.
You know, sometimes you need new blood in here to keep you, right or whatever.
Yeah, people will definitely listen. People will check it out.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously they'll listen because it's me.
It's you, exactly.
It's me. And see, the problem is, let me face you so we can have a good conversation. Like the thing about it is when you're a big deal,
right?
Like when you were born, like when I was born, like I don't remember it, but when I was born, the rumor is like the skies opened,
right?
And like an angel came down. It wasn't even an angel, but it was like doves. You know what I'm saying? And they looked like it was just doves came down. Like Prince was playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And then like I was born, and then. Like it was just like the Lion King before the Lion King came out. First of all, the Lion King was based on my life. If you didn't know that.
Snap!
But before that, like the Circle of Life, my dad held me up, and then, like it was like
your
birds and baboons
Mufasa?
came from. You know what I'm saying? Zebras was just bowing down. In Wyandotte County. I don't know where they came from. Yeah, it's just happens.
Zebras in Wyandotte.
And
that's crazy.
It happens. You know what I'm saying? But growing up like that, being in the world. Like that, you have to, stay humble.
The wise man and everything came.
Yeah,
incense and
first of all, that's the first time I seen myrrh.
Myrrh, that's
first time I seen myrrh. Didn't even know what myrrh was.
What is this?
And then I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Black people
gold,
know
I
myrrh.
know gold. Frankincense got that. Myrrh, what's that?
What's that new?
But you know what I'm saying? Everybody.
That's what P Diddy be wearing.
Yeah, he got that myrrh. Hey, I got this new myrrh. You know what I'm saying? 2015.
That new
myrrh.
Everybody copying Jordans. I'm just gonna get me some myrrh.
Killing it on the myrrh.
That's myrrh up on your wall right there.
That's myrrh. And I got frankincense in the closet. If you like to talk to tomatoes, if a squash can make you smile, if you like to waltz with potatoes up and down the produce aisle. Welcome to the Music Microwave Podcast. MMP. With your boy Trey.
Music Microwave Podcast at Music Microwave on Twitter.
So ride with your boy, as we reheat some classics, warm up some tracks you ain't heard before, and defrost some that got stuck in the back of the freezer.
Music Microwave Podcast.
So sit back, turn your headphones up, and let's get it poppin'. Music Microwave Podcast, MMP. Let's go. But anyway, the levels sound pretty good to me.
Yes,
I think
sir.
they sound good to you. And there's like a 90% chance that I'm gonna just keep this foolishness.
Yeah, I was thinking that
in the interview. In the podcast. But
I'm here sounding like dude from Boys to Men, like that dude that don't never sing. But he just had that one talking part that set the whole song off.
He started off like this. Hey, how you doing? We about to keep it real smooth for the 9-9.
They always got to throw the year at.
For the 9-9.
Why 90s music? They always had to throw the year in. That was just the thing.
But the thing about it now is that you listen to it like, oh, that was back in 99.
Right.
If you wouldn't have told me that it was,
it was so dated.
So old.
I'm about to start doing my songs like that.
Yeah, but
it's the 15.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? 2015 and matter of fact, okay,
crazy.
So we are already like 6 minutes into this interview and utter nonsense. So let me get this started off right. What's good, world? It's your boy Trey. You are now tuned into the Music Microwave Podcast, MMP, live and direct from the MMP Studios, Music Microwave Podcast. Hopefully you already listened to episode 1 of the Music Microwave Podcast. And if you did listen to episode 1, you had heard my dude on there already. But let me, before we get into introducing my guest who you've already heard, let me be clear. This is the Music Microwave Podcast at Music Microwave on Twitter. I realized after listening to the podcast for a million times before I released it that apparently I didn't know the name of my own podcast, because multiple times on episode 1 did I call it the Microwave Music Podcast, I don't know, I was just getting stuff, just popcorn podcast. Anyway, I was just calling it everything except what it actually is. This is the Music Microwave Podcast, tagline, #MMP. That's what it's all about. So, without further ado, this is the very first 101 interview that I'm doing for the podcast. This brother that I got in here right now, I think I met this guy about 2 years ago, and the first time I seen him rap, I just immediately felt like a connection with my dude, and was just like, okay, my dude is spitting like. I was like, okay, yeah. He even though I didn't like him as a person, let's get that clear off the bat. Like I didn't like him at all as a person. Like as soon as I seen him, I just immediately disliked his face, just like off the bat. But his ministry and his heart for the Lord just came out through his music. I was like, man, this dude just seemed genuine, and I want to build with him. And ever since then, he's been a brother, and I'm glad to be able to. I don't know. I'm gonna say friend, but he may say no. So I'm gonna say he's a friend. But if he tell you that we're not friends, then I'll just cry in the corner later. But anyway, without further ado, welcome to the Music Microwave Podcast. My homie, he just goes by Flash. Yay! Clap, 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 clap.
Yo, your boy Flash. Prince Flash in the building.
Yeah.
Yo, what's good, man?
So, So is it still Prince Flash, or is it just Flash, or did you drop the Prince?
I like Prince Flash, man, because I just like first and last name.
Yeah, first and last name, Prince Flash. Okay.
But I like it. It helps differentiate from a lot of other Flash.
So just in case people are wondering, you can't really run that fast?
No, it ain't.
It's not like that?
It's definitely not about speed. I would say when I first had the name, you know what I mean, it would have been more so about vanity, you know what I mean, than anything Flash,
flashy. All right. So let's start it off there. Introduce yourself to the people. You know what I'm saying? You can give them your government if you want. You know what I'm saying? The real ones. Cool. Where you fromage and stuff like that, because obviously you can hear my dude has a accent. He ain't from around these parts. So go ahead and tell the people where you from and all that good jazz. And All
right, government, you know what I mean? The name my mother gave me is Stephen Brundage. I was born on a hot summer night. Well, I wouldn't even say summer. Actually, in the fall, in Opelika, Alabama.
Excuse me.
Opelika.
Did you sneeze?
I know I did not sneeze.
Did you cough on something?
That's the place.
Opa who?
Opelika.
I think you cussing. All right. Let's not in my house. That's not what we do.
That's a place, man.
Opelika?
I mean, you know, everybody knows Auburn University.
Uh-huh.
So it's like pretty much like that same. That's the area, Auburn. Opelika, Auburn.
Okay.
But I grew up partially in Tuskegee, Alabama.
Okay.
You know, that's where my family is. And my dad got remarried when I was 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
So we moved to Montgomery, Alabama. And that's where that's where I went to high school and graduated high school and, you know, really found my love for music, hip hop.
Okay. So the most important question that I have to ask right now, if we can't move on past here. So Auburn or Alabama?
Alabama, roll tide, man.
All right. You know
Crimson
what?
Tide.
And I don't know either way that you would have answered that. I would have hated it.
Right.
I hate that. I would have hated the answer either way. So I don't know if I hate you more or less that you're an Alabama fan.
You love me more because
Auburn
I'm an Alabama fan.
I know. Your boy's not doing too well right now.
Man, you know, they rebuilding. They just lost the quarterback.
Yeah,
you know,
they still. Nick Saban got a dynasty working on down there, but this
Exactly.
is not a sports podcast.
Exactly.
But hey, that's what
We
I'm
can talk
talking
about that
about.
all
We can
day.
talk about that later.
Right.
Anyway, so grew up in Alabama.
Right.
Moved to. You graduated from high school in Montgomery.
Right. Sydney Lanier.
I didn't do that well in geography class.
Right.
But Alabama is definitely not Kansas City.
No, it's not.
So
It's
how
in the
did
South.
that happen?
Actually, I went to school in Warrensburg, Central
Okay.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in 2005.
Okay.
You know, had a friend that was going to school in Central Missouri, actually from Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I was just looking to move around and whatnot. And he just suggested that I go to school there. So I was like, cool, I'm with it.
Uh-huh.
Hopped on a Greyhound and with all my stuff and pretty much.
Grimy.
Yeah, it was real grimy, man. Greyhound. Say Greyhound, you know.
Yeah. That's when you know it's serious.
I will say this, though. The Greyhound is, I would say the Greyhound bus system is where I got my first music grind. That's where I would first pass out CDs to walk up to random strangers and give them music.
I feel like that you can't really be a successful artist unless you rode the bus or the Greyhound at least once.
I rode it
in your
about 20.
life, because every famous movie that I ever saw, Ray Charles, The Temptations, all of that, they end up on a Greyhound at one point or another. So
Exactly.
when your movie come out, the Flash, the Prince Flash movie, you got your Greyhound scene already in there.
Already,
you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to fake that. So I think it's something. Matter of fact, word to all up and coming artists,
Get a ticket.
Get a ticket on a Greyhound. Because if you want to be big, you need to take some Greyhound tours. Matter of fact, after this podcast, I'm just gonna hop on a Greyhound to St. Louis for no reason.
For no reason.
Just for no reason.
Long
Just
ride,
cause.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe get the Megabus because that's cheaper. Actually,
It's way cheaper than the Greyhound.
Cheaper than the Greyhound. Greyhound inflation. Greyhound. Y'all playing? It's a recession.
I've
Anyway.
ridden every form of transportation. So,
Which this is a super tangent, but I want to go on a train. Never been on a
I
train.
rode a train too.
Never been on a subway.
Yup.
But I told myself
Train is comfortable.
I told myself that the next trip that we take, we're gonna take the train.
Yeah, take it.
And so we were actually thinking about going on a cruise, and it's like, you know what? Me and the wifey go on a cruise, this summer, and let's take the train because we never did that.
Right.
But taking the train, it's about as expensive as a flight
It is.
and twice as long.
It's longer.
So I'm like,
It's more comfortable,
trains,
though.
y'all losing right now. Y'all need to speed up the train or drop the price. But anyway, I digress. I digress right now. So you find yourself if you just now tuning in, which I don't know who tunes into a podcast in the middle of the podcast.
Right.
But anyway, we in the building. This is Music Microwave Podcast with the homie Prince Flash, a one-on-one interview telling us how he just came from Alabama to Kansas City. So you in school.
Right.
You start your music grind on the Greyhound.
Right. I wouldn't say I started on the Greyhound, but it was the first time I felt comfortable giving it to other people. Yeah. Cause before, I'll be honest, before I wouldn't say I was ashamed, but coming from where I'm from in Montgomery, Alabama, it was a lot of rappers.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of rappers everywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't fit the mold of a rapper. So I felt like people would look at me funny or take it as a joke for me to come out and rap. Because I went to high school with, like, my high school was like local rapper central. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where they went. And it was just like I looked at all those guys and they were like signed artists, like, but going to my school. Yeah. And I was like, I don't look like that. I don't dress like that. I don't have that swagger that people, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I knew I like rap. I knew I had potential to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I kept it to myself because I knew people was like, you rap? ? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
and laugh. So it's just something that me and my cousins did in the room, you know what I mean? Yeah. Recorded it and just pretty much listened to it myself.
So how long, because you didn't always start off doing Christian music, right?
Oh, no, definitely
not. Okay.
Oh, no.
Definitely not. And right now we're going to play a track from, no, we're not. I found a track on the internet we about to play right now from Unsaved Flash. Anyway. So how long did you like? What was the transition period? Because a lot of people, there are a lot of artists who have that same story. Like they started off rapping with their family or cousin or freestyling at the lunch table, something like that, right. And then didn't want nothing to do with God. Then the Lord came in, rocked them, everything changed. Like how was that transition for you? Like what made you like even come to know the Lord, and also too, like when did you say, okay, I want to use this gift that the Lord has given me for His glory? Like walk us through that.
Definitely, man. I would just say, like, I had a situation in Atlanta, Georgia. I had a management deal.
A word.
Yeah, I had a management deal, and this was when I was still like doing secular music. But it was just. To me, it's just something about it that didn't feel right. Like I felt like I was like losing the love to do it. But like more so aside from the music, it was just like I just felt like a calling on my life. You know what I'm saying? And I would say about 2 years, like in the 2012 is no, even before that, like 2010, like on my I did my last like secular mixtape. I had a song on there where I spoke about like my tug and pull between doing music and living for Christ. And I like my dad and like family members and people from my church were always like come to me like, well, when you gonna do a song for God? And like I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know anything about Christian rap. Like I meet these people that know all this history and background. I came in with nothing. I don't know who anybody is. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why, first of all, that point right there, that's the God, that's the Lord, that's the Spirit leading you. Because that's why He led you here to the Music Microwave Podcast. Because I am one of those guys who know some history. Come on, see if you grew up like Flash, come on now, and not knowing the background in the history of Christian hip hop, and you need to be educated, if you need to be delivered from the bondage of secular hip hop, the Music Microwave Podcast is for you. Offering ushers, let's go. Yeah.
so forget my name. Yeah. So forget my name. Ain't about me no more, man. Nah. Giving glory to a high power. Yeah. I'm not a rapper, homie, this is not a gimmick. If you listen, you will see that, man, I'm simply just a witness. I was living for the present, now my future looking gifted, homie. Even when I die, with my father, I'll be living in that place where the gates all pearl. I was dead, now I live. I wouldn't trade it for the money and girls, a bunch of other empty things. People hoping to please them. If you thinking about my name, I hope you catching amnesia. Give that glory to the king, he suffered through the pain. With 1,000,000 umbrellas, you can never stop the rain of eternal life. I must have cried about 1,000,000 nights. Man, I went left so much, I finally got it right. Man, I was blind so long, I finally got my sight. He offered up his life, so with every line I write, man, I proclaim and I spit with no shame. And this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Yeah, hey, this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Hey, this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Hey, this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Yeah, hey man, I do it for the gang, so forget my name. That's the outcast, I'm here to outlast all my persecutors. Stop praising, doubt that. I give them glory through the midst of my struggles. You can mock me all you want, homie, laugh if you want to, cause I don't do it for no shiny cars or no A&Rs. I do it for the Lord, I ain't trying to be a star. I was lost till he gave me that map. That fast life got you stuck, that's why they call it a trap. Hey, all the role models dead, that's why I'm living for my heroes. So tell me how I feel to sell that poison to your people. Depending on these people, but they never show up. Long as I make it to them cakes, don't have to ever blow up. I'm still gifted, about to make it cool to be a Christian. Maybe open up some eyes, show the world what they missing. Deliver it and proclaim, plus I spit with no shame. This ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Yeah, hey, this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Hey, this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Hey, this ain't for my recognition, so forget my name. Yeah, hey man, I do it for the gang, so forget my name. Yeah, Romans 10:9. Yeah.
Anyway, so let's pause. Let's back up a minute. Right. So, did you grow up in church?
Yeah, I did. Okay. I mean, my family was definitely deeply rooted in church. Like my grandmother made me get baptized when I was like 7.
Not made you get baptized.
She made me because I didn't know what was going on. But I can starkly remember like my grandmother's. I remember my grandmother's come to Jesus moment. Like not the exact moment, but I can remember the transition. Mm-hmm. Like I know like the beer started disappearing from the refrigerator. Yeah. She started using less cuss words. Uh-huh. She started reading her Bible more. She started caring for people more. And she would sit me down and she would tell me about heaven and hell and being born again. And all I can remember is how terrified I was of going to hell. And you know what I mean? And I think third grade I had got saved and I had went to school and just started like, you know, witnessing to people. And, you know, I was like, man, bro, I'm not going to do no more bad stuff. That lasted for like a week.
Yeah, and, that's about right. Yep. That's about
in
right.
The world.
Yeah.
Hey, my teachers, they started calling us like preacher boys, me and another kid.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, man. So, I'm back out in the world and, you know, get caught up in music and I want to rap. Yeah. And, so basically what happened, honestly, to be truthful, I did music as a kid and growing up, but I never looked at it as a career path. You know what I'm saying? Like I never said, oh, you know what? I'm going to be a famous rapper one day. I'm going to make it. I'm going to get a record deal. You know, honestly, that part didn't happen until I got to Central Missouri. And it's just crazy how it happened. I was living in the dorms and, you know, being from out of town, you want to walk around and see who people are. And
yeah.
I think I was just walking around the dorms and like a couple doors down, I looked in. This guy had one of my friends today had his door open and had like a setup like this, like you got like a microphone with the like pop filter and all that. I was like, oh, what's up? You do music? He was like, yeah, you do music? I was like, I dabble and dabble, like whatever, like you know what I mean. But it was around this time where I didn't even know how to record a song. I think the first song I recorded with him, I recorded from the beginning to end, all the way through. I didn't know about like
no punch ins,
no punch, no hook,
hilarious,
no verses.
Hilarious.
Like, it was just raw because, like I said, during the time I was around people who did music and had studios and made beats, but nobody would let me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Nobody took me serious enough, and I just always felt in my heart like, man, I could do this. I'm like watching them, like. I got something to say, I feel like I could, put together some songs or whatnot. But I look at that guy in that situation, like he was the first person to like take me serious, and it was like, so I was like, this is an opportunity. And like, the song started out so whack, like it was just stuff I didn't know about, like, like we making songs about, we trying to do positive music, like making songs about homework and all this stuff. I think like the first song I ever got played in a nightclub was about the school. We made a song for like Central Missouri, and they had like a little local club. We took it to the DJ, and the DJ played it, and naturally everybody just gonna go crazy because it's about the school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His mom was his manager, and she took us on a lot of different trips. I think like we did this thing called Seat Fillers, where we went to the Billboard Awards. And I'm like sitting next to Chris Brown, T.I., Mary J. Blige just right in front of me. Like,
oh, so you was the guy who sat in the seat while the real famous people went to the restroom.
No, yeah, we had to rotate. Yeah. Or they didn't show up. You know what I mean? So they do seat fillers because from a TV standpoint, they want the award show to look full. Right. You know what I mean? So,
oh, that's great.
But that moment right there, it was in Las Vegas, man. That moment right there, man, that was like a turning point for me, because I was like, I went out there and I was like, man, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing all these people that followed their dream. Like, I'm on the elevator with Will.I.am, and I see Pharrell, and all these people I look up to, and I was like, I just leave college, like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna pursue my music.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's crazy.
I want to backtrack a little bit because I have a story as well that I'm hoping that yours is more embarrassing than mine. But I remember the very first thing I wrote. Now I started off doing silly songs. Right. I always like I'm a silly, anybody who know me, I'm a silly dude, goofy dude, whatever. So in high school, when everybody at the lunch table spitting their rhymes or whatever, I got the pencil, I'm making the beats, whatever on the lunch table. Naturally. Or whatever, and then it's my turn, and all my rhymes was about food. Like I was about McDonald's, about buffets, and all silly stuff, right?
Right.
Which I will spare you from any of the verses that I did spit.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
But I remember the first time that my homie Deacon, he's like, bro, you doing all this silly stuff. Why don't you like write for real? So I was like, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm a rapper. I remember the very first rhyme I ever wrote. I remember pieces of it. And I remember the first time I wrote it, I had about maybe 8 bars, right? And I wrote it down. I went to Deacon and was like, bro, this is what I got. And I spit these 8 bars the hardest that I could. The hardest that I could. And I'm thinking, I'm giving bars. Like I'm hitting y'all with the most ridiculous bars you ever heard in your life. My homie Deacon looked at me and he just took a deep breath and was like, that's garbage.
Oh, wow.
Go back and rewrite that and come back. I know you got better in you. And I was crushed. But
it will crush you.
But let me tell you why I know I love him forever for doing that. Because this was a part of the rhyme. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
Give it to me.
My dude, like I'm trying to make a contrast of being a Christian. Like, so we the Christians, y'all the world, right?
Right.
And there should be a contrast.
Right.
Now, I'm let's say a hefty, a robust individual, a man, chunky. I'm,
robust.
yeah, I'm 5'5", about 290 right about now. Lost weight. You know what I'm saying? Losing weight. I used to be 365, but I digress.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and I'm a dark individual. Now Deacon, he's skinny, he in shape, and he light skinned, right?
Right.
So he white. Well, he mixed anyway, but he looked white or black. Anyway, my bar said something to the effect like if you're a Christian, like you say you're a Christian, but you're not, that's whack. That's like saying Deacon's black. No, Trey is white and Deacon's black, or saying Deacon's skinny, Trey is skinny and Deacon's fat.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I see the contract. Oh, yes.
But I said that.
Right. Wow.
Like I said.
What year? This was like what year?
This was like 05.
Oh.
04.
Yeah.
05.
I see where you was going with it.
But it was terrible.
Right.
It was utterly terrible.
Could have been. You probably could have been a little bit more creative.
No, it was trash, right. And I'm glad until right now that it never got out. But I'm hoping. Tell people. See, I'm hoping that you have a bar or some lyrics that just are as equally as bad.
Honestly, I can't remember any of that stuff. Like,
oh man,
truthfully, like honestly, what, man, wow, bad.
See, this is what happens. Flash got some bad verses in him, but he wants y'all to know the new Flash and not the old Flash.
I done went through so many music changed so much. Like I done went through so many transitions. I can remember like, we used to call it. What they call it, like swag music.
Yeah.
I remember my swag music phase. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was like. Yeah, I don't want to recap that.
Yeah, so I do a segment on the podcast called Lyric Court, right? And so the first episode was me breaking down a verse that I had because the very first Lyric Court, you got to expose yourself first,
right?
And so I was I brought up a verse, I let you play it, and I was like, man, that was an unfortunate time. At the time, I thought I was giving bars. I thought that mug was hot, but we all have. I think everybody got a verse or a punchline that you look back at now and be like, who let me say that? Like,
they didn't care for my life.
Why? Like, where were all my friends who told me, like,
know how to tell
flashes you may or may not know?
Right.
There was a point in my life, a very unfortunate time, which I addressed on the first episode of the Music Microwave podcast, that I thought I was a rapper. Mm-hmm. And I go back and listen to the stuff from the Curfew album. First of all, I was in a group called Curfew.
Oh, snap.
Okay. Now, you would think, you would think alone right there, okay, you named yourself Curfew. Okay, what does curfew mean? Okay, you got to get ready to, whatever.
Enlighten me.
You know what I'm saying? You could say that. No, that's not what curfew. Do you know that curfew is actually an acronym?
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's a long acronym.
Exactly. It's that my homie Deacon, Pastor Wendell Cole of Koinonia Bible Church right now.
Okay.
Put him out there like that.
Where's that?
Koinonia.
Yeah,
that's South Kansas City. That's where okay. Dre and Sauce and them all go there. Carlos go there. Yeah. Anyway.
Did you just speak in tongues?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just quick second. So anyway, he passed the cornucopia. Anyway. And he hit us. We was trying to come up with names with the group, and my dude said curfew, and I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, man, curfew.
Christian something.
Curfew stands for Christian Urban Radicals, furthering the emphasis of witnessing.
Hey.
Christian Urban Radicals, furthering the emphasis of witnessing. Curfew. Put that on a t-shirt.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Down the back,
where you come up with that ridiculousness, I don't know. But we rocked it for a long time anyway.
Yeah, I had too much communion.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyway, I go back and listen to some of those tracks, and I listen to the punchlines that we use. So outdated. like super outdated punchlines. Like we used like Dre was featured on one of our track, and he used like a chicken noodle soup reference.
Oh man,
you remember the Dad's chicken noodle soup
with a soda on the side?
With a soda on the side, yeah. Anyway, like he used one of those references. He used like a Unk reference that Walk It Out. I was like, oh man, it's rough.
I wasn't saved then.
Yeah.
When Unk was out. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wasn't. We'll get into that too. But you know what I'm saying? So crazy punchlines. You was talking about your bag punchline. What was that?
Yeah, man. This was like my first like full length song. And I had to be like, it's like 18. But I thought it was cool. The song was called Bagged Up, but it was like the hook. It was like kind of gritty though. Now I think about it, it's like leave your body cold, toe all tagged up. My rhymes like crack. They need to be bagged up. Bagged up. Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's what you said. You said
performed that song. It was like, I know people felt the energy. I don't know if they was feeling the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, it's so crazy. Like I always think about those moments, man, and I look back and like to see then and where I'm at now, like in such a short period of time.
Yeah. It's
crazy because like I was always the type of person, like if you show me how to do something, then I'm gonna, okay, you can, I figure it out. You know what I mean? And nobody ever took me in the studio and showed me recording techniques. Nobody never sat me down and showed me how to count bars or like what to write, what to say. Like nobody cared, you know what I'm saying? So all this stuff was just trial and error for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the music you hear now was just years of me getting in the studio and jacking up so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So when did the transition happen? Like when did talk to me about like when that transition happened that you was like, you know what, I'm done with all of this.
Right.
Like it's about you, Lord.
Right. And the thing is, like I knew, like April 2012, like my friend invited me to this church. And this guy invited me because he used to be a DJ. Like he used to spin my secular records. When he invited me to the church, and then I saw him again, I could tell like something was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started going to the church, and like I really started listening to the pastor. Like the pastor, like I felt like what he was saying was like really speaking to me. And not only just because I had just got to the church, but what I had been going through prior. Like it was just God was just nudging me. Only thing that was happening for me was like that tug of war. Like I didn't know then. Like I felt like I'll be like losing out on my dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I ain't gonna be able to be on the cover of magazines. I ain't gonna be able to, you know what I'm saying? How to be rich and famous and all that stuff. And one day it hit me though. Like the pastor he preached a sermon about faith and stepping out on faith and how you can be a light for your whole family. Like, you know, a lot of people look to you that you don't even know, and like whatever you gravitate towards and grasp a hold of, they're gonna naturally want to know what's up. And I always been bold and outspoken. I just, you know what I mean? So that moment he preached that sermon, man, it's like, you know, at the end of the church they had like altar call and and I went down, man, and I joined the church, and you know what I'm saying, I was like, yeah, man, I want to be a part of the church. But I would say like a week later, I was sitting in my room, my bedroom, like by myself, and like, you know, it's something on YouTube, and just something told me to watch a movie about Jesus. Just like, you know, like Jesus, who is Jesus? Let me, and I watched that movie, man, and it rocked me. It was like, yo, like I always heard the cliche, oh, Jesus died for my sins, but to see the person of Jesus and how he was and what he did, and like just how he was just bold and radical. And at the end of the video, it was just like all these people from different places that had never met, and they was doing these interviews, and they all had the same prayer. Like they was just like, they just prayed for God to make them the person that He wanted them to be. And I felt like, oh man, all this time I've been trying to be what I wanted to be, and now it's just God. Like at that moment, like that's when I truly accepted Christ. And I came to grips. I admitted, confessed that I was a sinner. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And after watching that movie and hearing about Jesus all this time, it's like I truly feel like that you took my punishment. You know what I mean? I did that, and I was just crying, like, you know, it's just like a waterfall just coming out my eyes. And man, like truthfully, I will never forget. Like I felt like somebody was hugging me tighter than I ever been hugged, and I knew I was in a room, like I knew I was like by myself. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy, man. It was like an out of body experience. So I go from that, and you know, just talking to one of my friends and like telling them what's happened. I'm going back to work. I'm all excited. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, but that's music. Like I can't be, you know what I'm saying? Can't be like all out for Lord, and then I'm still trying to world rap. So, and one of my friends.
Well, I mean, you could just call yourself R. Kelly.
right,
I mean,
right. R. Kelly or every other rapper.
Every other person that's out there. Put on
keep God first.
Man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Make this music about
world, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna accept this world on behalf of Jesus, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
My Lord and personal Savior. Without him, none of this would be possible. You know what I'm saying?
All my music about
because
smoking and slapping chicks.
Been down and twerked that would not have went over all over the world without his help. Get out of here, man.
Right, man. Come on, man.
Get out of here with all that foolishness.
And you know, man, it's crazy, man. Like I tell people, it's like sitting in a pitch black room for 20-some years, and then somebody just walk in and turn the light on. It's like I see everything now.
Yeah.
Everything, man. I was like, how did I possibly miss this?
Shit.
And no, you was like,
eye-opening.
You wasn't by the light. That's why you missed that.
Yeah.
You know, I was walking through life thinking this stuff was cool. I mean, like I knew that it was negative. I knew it was bad. But then at the same time, I didn't understand like the implications of how terrible and what bad shape that I really was in. I was in terrible shape and didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I think like the real transition was like I told one of my friends, and I was like, man, I don't know what to do about this music. And I just jokingly said, I'm about to do gospel rap. And it was like, you should do it. And I'm like, but how would that look?
Yeah.
And man, what happened? My wife, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, she wasn't my wife at the time. We just got married, but she bought me a ticket to the 116 concert. This was my first exposure. I had a Lecrae mixtape, and I listened to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, this dude right here is inspiring.
Which
me, man.
Which was that? Which one was that?
It was Church Clothes.
That's
my first.
Your first experience was Church Clothes?
One. Yeah.
No way.
I had saw Lecrae on the BET Cipher.
Oh,
but like my first experience with his music was Church Clothes mixtape. I listened to it. I was like, man, this dude.
Yeah. Which to be fair, that mixtape was the business.
It was the business.
It was the business.
Better than to me, like his prior.
Yeah,
but a lot of people will choke me for saying that, but I don't know. That's just the way I looked at it.
Listen, I've been since album 1, since Real Talk.
Right.
To me, like his best album ever was Rebel.
Yeah, Rebel.
To me,
yeah, people put me up on Rebel too. It was dope.
To me,
I like Gravity, and then Church Clothes. Then it was Gravity. Like I think that Cray era to me was like, okay. I heard that mixtape, and I was like, man, you know, I think God showed me through that his mixtape, like, you know, beat still banging, same energy, you still come hard. Only thing different is the content.
Yeah.
And once I saw that, I was like, oh, so because honestly, before I thought when I think about Christian rap, I was like, yo, it's corny. Like, there's a whole bunch of cat. God love me. He saved me. He made me, you know what I'm saying?
Now to be honest, the Lord knew what He was doing and letting you see, let you hear Lecrae.
Yeah, He knew.
Because like I said, apparently I said it like 1,000 times on the first episode of Music Microwave Podcast. I kept saying, I've been listening to Christian hip hop for 14 years.
Yeah.
Y'all need to know how long I've been listening to it. Anyway, I'm about to be 30 up in here. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Anyway, but yo, when I first started listening, if you think about that, then think about listening back in 99.
I heard it
2000,
back then, and I didn't like it.
It was El Trasho.
I didn't like
That's
it.
why for all my Spanish speaking listeners.
Yeah.
El Trasho.
I kept me away.
Yeah, it was corny. It was stuff, but it started getting it got a lot better. Like, and you still will find some stuff out there now that's just like, that is embarrassing. I don't know who's in your circle right now who is telling you that this is okay, but you probably should sit down immediately. Maybe rapping is not your spiritual gift.
I heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm in the building with my homie Flash. iWitness music. Shot music. Let's get it. We in it to win 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 it.
You can take my life if you want to. Stop me, homeblood, what you won't do. Cause I'm covered by the king and the weapon that you bring won't stop the Lord's reign. Cause wherever he live, need to holler at my boys on the block, cause they got to know how the Lord clean me up that mop and glow. But my hater keep saying impossible. They don't understand the Lord that I serve and know. Straight fooling it. Disturb my peak, that ludicrous. Take shots, homeboy, who you shooting at? Cause you aim too low, but we never will quit. We too legit. We rep a king, the left is strong to take the death that I deserve. He phenomenal, you comical. My God, too big, astronomical. Can I do it for the spirit living in me and the ones in the world who need to see? Man, I do it for the boys in the trap and the ones on the block, please set them free. He said, come to me if you hungry. He said, come to me if you thirst. Homie, I was dead, headed straight to hell. I was riding around in that hearse, now I'm dipping the blood, still dripping. Got living water, still sipping. That righteous judge had set me free when he should've gave me that sentence.
Now I'm dipping the blood, still dripping. Got living water, still sipping. That righteous judge had set me free. He should've gave me that sentence. When they see us in His glory, they cannot stand us. Why they even hate? They don't understand us. Put your hands up, cause this is our anthem. Put your hands up, cause this is our anthem. We in it to win it. 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 We in it.
Yeah, homie, it's a new day. Thank the Lord for a new grace. When you trying to flip a coin like Two-Face. Brother, where I stand is right where he playing. My life in his hands, I got big faith. Tell me why would I trip? I got my weapon, I'm loading the clip. Full of the confidence mixed with the spirit I got to the devil that I had no fear. Chip, man down, man down, man down. Keep the money and the fame, I don't want the handout. All I need is Jesus with me. Man, any problem I got, he can fix it. All of my demons, they run and they tremble. Back when I used to break open the switches with marijuana, get high and get lifted. Yeah, hung on a tree straight left to die. His TLC, he left for I. That persecution won't stop the movement. Drama queen, they get pushed aside. Just being that boy Flash, iWitness that shop music. Young brothers going hard for Christ. You holler won't stop moving. Now I'm dipping the blood, I'm still dripping. Got living water, still sipping. That righteous judge had set me free. He should've gave me that sentence.
Now I'm dipping the blood, still dripping. Got living water, still sipping. That righteous judge had set me free. He should've gave me that sentence. When they see us in His glory, they cannot stand us. Why they even hate? They don't understand us. Put your hands up, cause this is our anthem. Put your hands up, cause this is our anthem. We in it to win it. 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 We in it to win it.
Really, what turned it up for me though is when I went to they had a concert at Sheffield.
Okay. Oh, that one. Yeah.
I went to that one, man. It was like over 2,000 young people, teenagers.
It was like 3. It was like 3,000.
It was like 3, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3,000
everybody
there.
was just hype for Jesus, man.
That concert was crazy.
It inspired me to the utmost, man. I'm like, I'm looking around like, dang, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
And it showed me right then that there are different forms of worship. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in the deep South, and I'm thinking that only way worship is to run around and dance, and you know what I'm saying? I was like, I think God really showed me like the purity of like what he's all about, like, you know what I'm saying, how he could take a genre with such negative connotation and use it to draw in a generation of young people. Man. And I want to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of that so bad, man. I was like, yo, if I'm gonna have a voice, like this what I want to be used for something that people life changing, man. You come up to me after a show and be like, bro, like, how I get saved? What's the step? Like, how do I get to know Jesus? Like that, rather than coming up to me saying that, hey, man, where y'all kicking it at? Where the girls at? And I was like, man, that's me leading somebody down the path of destruction. I'd rather lead them to the truth, the source of life. I'm not sitting here telling them that I'm super perfect, because who ain't? It's me. I'm not perfect. But I know that I am not ashamed to fall down on my knees and just cry out to God and pray to him and ask him to cleanse me of all unrighteousness, you know what I'm saying? And after that concert, man, that song I performed at His Will, Forget My Name, the first Christian rap song I ever wrote.
That's what I was gonna ask you. That was what I was gonna ask you. Like the first time I seen you, I think it been about a year, at least a year or two at this point, since the first time I saw you at His Will. His Will is a open mic, a poetry, primarily poetry open mic event that we do normally once a month. Sometimes we miss a couple months. Big shout out to Ed Rollins for putting that on. It's been about 9 years running now, and a lot of Christian hip hop in the city actually. I don't want to say was birthed out of there, but a lot of people were like found out through His Will, like coming and doing open mics and stuff like that. Record deal and so, first time I seen you was at His Will. Was that the first time that you performed? Was that your first performance?
Like Christian rap?
Christian rap performance?
No. I had done tons of shows before that.
Okay.
Like my mainstay was basically at my church.
Yeah.
They would always have me. A lot of other churches around the city. You know what I'm saying? I actually had shot a music video for that song before. So I had performed a lot of different events, you know what I mean? But for His Will, I think somebody had sent me had forwarded me a text about it for His Will, because I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
At first, and then I was like, yeah, I'm down, like open mic, go do my thing. I'm with it. So I went, and it was all love, man.
Yeah, that was a good night. I remember that. It was like, I think it was our first night back after being on a hiatus for a while, because just circumstances in life were happening. But I remember that night just like it was yesterday. And honestly, probably around 2000, from the 2006 to maybe 2010, there was this huge explosion of Christian rap in Kansas City. I heard about it, man. Kansas City was becoming a mecca for Christian hip hop. We were having artists come out of Kansas City, just coming up every week, almost every week there was a concert. People were coming out in masses, and new artists were just coming on the scene and coming on the scene and coming on the scene.
Right.
And then Christian Fellowship were bringing in national recording artists, and we would have first Saturdays was popping, and all of this stuff was popping.
Right.
And all of a sudden, 2010 hit, and just everything died. Everything went away.
Right.
And we was like, what happened? Where everybody go?
I come to
and so
looking around.
When you popped up, I had been saying where the new cats at? We was having new cats pop up almost seemed every week.
Right.
And then for a while nobody popped up. And then now I like to say you and some other guys kind of been the resurgence of the Christian hip hop scene in Kansas City. So can you feel that? Like for me, like I was there through what now you can look back and say the good old days or whatever.
Right.
But can you feel that different? Like what is it like now being out there and coming back on the scene and doing things?
Man, honestly, it's always hard for me. Like like it's easier for people on the outside looking in to see it, but honestly, to me, like I feel like I am connecting with like more brothers and sisters in music more. I feel the fellowship definitely more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people have I won't say like accepted me in, but more people are like reaching out to me and like, you know what I mean, just welcoming me. I mean, every time I do it, I just think to make the best I can possibly do that glorifies the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm a part of like the resurgence or like like the new scene or on the scene. I don't know. I mean, I know that I have gotten like some great opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And so I look at the opportunities and like, well, I know what it was like when I wasn't getting any opportunities. And now looking at this situation, I want to take full advantage of the opportunities that I have now. Yeah. So that I can be like, you know what, get my voice out there and let people know how I feel. I was gonna use a different word, but then that would have gave away the title for my next album. So,
you know what I'm saying?
Music Microwave exclusive.
We about to get that exclusive in here. But all right, so fast forward. 2014. You know what I'm saying? It was September right now. Well, okay, so a couple months ago is when I found out. Flash all of a sudden, I look up and this dude is signed to a record label. And I said, who is crazy enough to sign Flash to a record label? Like, obviously they don't have ears. So, backed up. So tell us about how that went about. Because actually, because your label right now, everybody on your label, good friends of mine, and I'm like, this seems like an odd bunch, but it worked. And from what I'm hearing, the new music, crazy.
So that's what we want to
crazy.
Do,
but anyway, go ahead, talk about it. I'll let you go ahead and go from there. How did all this come about? In
man, like like it's crazy how God worked. Even back then at Central Missouri, like He brought me to that place, like because. Like the guy my dude that's over iWitness, like the CEO, Brandon, True Voice Box.
So the name of the record label is iWitness Music.
iWitness Music.
All right. Check them out. You got to give out your plugs. iWitness Music.
iWitness Music, man. We just dropping them left and right, man. Album after album. Do y'all got a website? iWitnessmusic. iWitnessmusic.com.
Yeah, basically. Twitter, Facebook.
I had a Twitter and Facebook's actually set up yet, but all that stuff is actually it's like a resurgence of the actual label because like they had dropped a compilation album before, like the Empire, and then like people pretty much moved on, went to other callings or whatnot. So if you think about like me and His Way, we pretty much just like Voice Box. Taking in some new blood and investing in us and kind of rebuilding stuff off of what we doing right now.
Yeah, I think that he just seen two light-skinned rappers and said, I think I can market them.
Yeah, they kind of cute. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, it's crazy,
That's
man.
Hilarious.
Hey.
Go ahead.
But I've been knowing Voice Box for a minute. I actually first met him at Central Missouri. We went to college together, and it was at the time he was actually doing Christian rap. Then like having album release parties. I was still in the world, so I was looking at it like I didn't get it. I'm like, oh, you do Christian rap? Yeah. But I still like applauded him for doing this thing. Like he, what I mean, he still seemed like he had his stuff together.
He was doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. Even then, so as the years go by, like we'll contact each other like via Facebook every now and then, And when I moved back to Kansas City, and he found out that I was actually doing Christian music too, he because he was like working in the youth ministry over at Concord, and he would just have me come out and do shows. Like, he bring artists in. He had me open up. Like they had opened up a new teen center. He asked me to come in and perform for the inauguration.
The new stuff over at Concord is crazy
it's
though.
Soup.
Yeah, the gym is crazy. The new youth room is crazy. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, actually, he actually found out that I was doing Christian hip hop for his will. Word. He was at that show and he saw me, and that's when he started, inviting me out because he didn't know. And actually, I had talked to another label member, Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Ring.
Shout out to Andre Reams.
Reams.
Yo, that's my dude.
That's my dude.
Hey,
right
when you talk about during the golden, quote unquote, golden age,
you ain't gotta tell me, dog.
Sheep was that guy. Sheep. First time I met Sheep, like he came into his Will show,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
And ripped it.
And killed it, but he scared everybody. He came out. He was in the back of the room with a hoodie on. And Sheep's not a little guy.
Nah, he's not.
Sheep's a big guy. He kind of intimidating. Like
he was about to
so,
rock
I'm
the place.
hosting, and they say coming to the stage, Black Sheep, and he walk up with his hoodie on, take his hoodie off, and just kind of mug the crowd. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I'm going to have to steal on this dude
right.
in Jesus' name. You know what I'm saying? In the name of Jesus.
Right.
But no, then he did his what's this song? One Time Stand Up. I forget the actual word of the song, but yo,
Sheep is a beast, man.
Sheep smashed
Sheep
it.
He was real influential, and he was real influential on my signing because I like a year before I even got with iWitness and actually sat down with Brandon, like. Sheep called me up and he wanted to sit down and have a meeting with me. Yeah. And he's just talking, just like, yo, man, Brandon, we thinking about doing this tour. Like, we trying to get it popping, and your name just keep popping up. Like, you know what I mean? We just like swagger, like what you doing. Yeah. And he was just asking me like how I feel about the situation. And at the time, I was like, I don't have a situation.
Yeah.
And I y'all some talented people, and I like what y'all do, so. I'm down. So fast forward a year later, Brandon called me to have a meeting with him over at his office, and he was like, yeah, man, so what you trying to do? And I'm like,
the funny thing is that sounds exactly like Box. That's exactly he want. Like he don't even like. That's not how you supposed to start a meeting,
right?
But that's Box. That's Box.
Like,
yeah.
Truthfully, like in my mind, I want to take it to the next. I want to take it to that level where I can produce the highest quality music that I possibly can. And he's like, well, we got the resources, we can do it. And he's like, let's do an album. And I'm like, okay, like what I'm saying. At the time, if you rewind like a year behind, it's like I didn't know that the Forget My Name song and all that stuff would turn into an album. You know what I mean? It was just, I had a song. He liked the song. He was like, because I didn't even want to use that song. I was like, man, that's old. It ain't as good as
Amnesia go. That Amnesia go.
I appreciate it, man. He was like, no, bro. He was like, nah, man, you got to use that song. You gonna get it. We're gonna like remix it and master it and everything. We're gonna put it in an album. And so, like the Forget My Name song, Amnesia song was like the building blocks for that album, pretty much. Named the album Amnesia, and then reached out to a couple other producers, got some tracks. It was like 2 months. I just wrote everything, got in the studio.
You did the whole project in 2 months?
Yeah, we did everything in 2 months and recorded. Box had it shipped off to disc makers.
Yeah.
Came back, pressed up, and you know what I'm saying?
Now you a superstar.
I'm not no superstar. Like what Triple E say, if you looking for a superstar, I ain't the one.
All right, speaking of Triple E, now you are a light skinned guy,
right,
from the South.
Yeah,
with the Southern swing.
That's sweet.
How many people compare you to Triple E?
Every show I go to, even one of my label mates. His way, that's that Triple E, boy. Boy, I went to every show. Boy, I thought you was Triple E. Did anybody tell you look like Triple E? On Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, cool.
So what do? You embrace it? You shun it? What do you do?
Man, to be honest, like, I never embraced that, man. I always had a problem. Like, even before, it was like, people would say, you like T.I. or Nelly or Chris Brown, and I was like, man.
First of all, the Nelly comparison is hilarious, but go ahead.
You know, it was other races that they say like everybody look alike. But man,
that's racist too.
That was kind of
that was racist.
I didn't mean it like
no.
that.
You did.
I did.
MMP exclusive. Flashes are racist.
the lighter version. My lighter brothers.
My light skinned brethren and sister.
My light skinned brothers and sisters.
My cul-de-sac dwellers.
Right. Anglos.
Yeah.
But man. I was just in this space where it's like, man, you know, just let me be me, man.
Yeah, everybody just want to be them. Like,
I mean,
Trip is Trip. Hey, he in Philly somewhere now doing whatever he do.
He about to drop an album. I heard a couple tracks.
I actually thought he was. I thought he was done rapping.
Yeah, I thought he was retired.
I thought he was retired. And
man, that's the thing about music that I love, man. No matter what you try to say to it, once that inspiration hits you, you want to do something. Yeah. Like, I'm inspired right now. If it was up to me, I'd put out another album next week. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, we can record right now. We can do that. Drop a mixtape right now.
Old mixtape.
MMP exclusive. Let's do it.
You should do that. That's a good idea.
Let's talk about the business side of music. Right. Like, I feel like, and you can give me your opinion. I feel like at the beginning, a lot of people were just putting out Christian music because they said, well, I want to do it for Christ. Right. And and as long as it's Christian, you should support me because I'm a Christian.
No matter if it's suck or not.
No matter the quality, no matter the like how good the content is, no matter whatever. As long as I'm saying Jesus, you should support me. And if you're not, then you're not being a good Christian.
Right.
But now,
that's a falsity.
What is unfortunate, but I think now more than ever, people are taking more, or striving, or seems to be at least trying to strive for higher standards, for excellence in their craft and their quality, whether it be video, audio, marketing, things like that. It seems like people are striving for that, and I think there's two sides of the coin. Like, some people see that and they say, you know what, God gave me his best, so I'm gonna give him mine. Right. But other people saying, man, you just trying to be like the world, you know what I'm saying? You just trying to blow up, you just trying to be famous, you know what I'm saying? I do this because I love God and I be humble, you know what I'm saying? And I'll stand outside of Walmart and hand out my Memorex CDs because I didn't send them to disc maker. I'm just gonna burn them on my laptop and hand them out. Right.
And you know, I mean, I could say I probably had that. I don't think I ever had that mindset. I always had the mindset, like, I don't care how many people come to the show. I rock 5,000. I'm gonna rock. You know what I mean?
And I've seen that the 5 and 5,000. Well, I haven't seen quite 5,000. Not quite 5,000 yet, but yeah, I done seen small crowds go. Anyway,
I mean, but I know one thing that didn't change from my transition from secular music to Christian music. Like, I always wanted top quality. Like, I always wanted to pursue like the best sound quality I could have, the best covers, like everything. You know what I mean? Because at the end, art is art. You know what I mean? The only thing that's the difference is what type of art or the content in your art. You know what I'm saying? So just because I do Christian art doesn't mean that it's a lower standard that we have to accept. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, if you are a believer, the Bible says that God created us in his image. And then if you read when the Bible speaks of God creating the world and how the heavens give glory to God, I mean, I don't see nothing shabby about earth or the heavens that he created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100 billions of stars.
Yeah.
The sun.
I may be the only one, but like sometimes, like, I'm driving home from work and I'll just look up in the sky, look at the clouds, and sometimes they look so beautiful, like they look so perfect that they look like cartoonish, right? And I just like, man, that's incredible. Like, and those are the moments I just sit back and reflect and be like, man, God is ridiculous.
He is ridiculous beyond comprehension, dope. Man. Like, so, I mean, like, if this the God that created me, and okay, I say I want to make music to glorify him. Why like dumb it down to glorify? That's not giving glorification. And if my mission also is to, if I see like teenagers or young people that have been gravitating towards like negative music for so long because to them it sounds good.
Yeah.
Why can't I give them an alternative that sounds good also?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If not better, because I was like, shoot, I'm be honest with you, I wrap circles around some of your favorite worldly.
Listen, I don't like. Sometimes I did more previously in previous years more than I have been recently, but I like to try to at least know kind of what's going on in the secular market, so I'm not 100% like disconnected. Just because like if my little brothers or little cousins or nieces and nephews say or talking about somebody and I totally don't know or what's going on, I kind of like I can't reach you because I don't know exactly what's going on. But some of the stuff that I have heard, I'm just like, this cannot be what's hot right now.
This is what is allowed.
Like this cannot be.
So I'll give it like honestly, like it's some secular music that is really good. You know what I mean? Obviously, I can't support the content.
Yeah.
But sonically, I listen to it and the arrangements and the cleverness of the songs and like. It's real. Let's make some real good music. Like I'll be honest. It's like, man, I be thinking, man, you just need to come and do Christian.
If you,
bring that to to glorify.
I mean, because no matter what art form it is, you can't deny that whether you a Christian or not, like people can. God has given certain people
gifts
to make gifts to make beautiful art, whether it be painting, whether it be playing an instrument, whether it be rapping or whether it be singing. Like they have a gift to do that art, and it can be appreciated. But maybe I don't necessarily like your content. Like a painter could paint something that's so beautiful, but have like some type
nudity
of
and stuff,
grotesque nudity or something like that, and then like, man, I can't even get down with that. But that would be beautiful, minus that what's going on right now. As an artist, where do you stand on? Because it seems to be a big debate going on right now with Christians who are rapping and using their art. Like, okay, God gave me a gift to rap, and so that's what I'm gonna rap. And so I'm still Christian, and I rap, but my content may not necessarily be 100% like just Bible. Like, it seems like we got like theology rap. Like you got your Shalins who's gonna come and just pretty much exposit scripture and does it beautifully, by the way. Like Shalin is amazing. And then on your other side, you got, I guess, your Lecrae now. Lecrae and Andy Mineo, who at the heart you can tell in their when you listen, you know that their heart is for God. Or to me, others may say different. So let me not say that that's what I think. A lot of people think that maybe Lecrae has went astray because he went from albums like Rebel
Bible
to albums like I'm Turned. You know what I'm saying? You go from there. So where do you lie, and what do you like? How do you view it? What would be your
man? Honestly, like there? It's not a day go by that I wouldn't even say wrestle with it. I just think about it.
Yeah.
But I look at it like this. I don't have a problem with the Bible theological rappers, and I don't have a problem with what Lecrae does, because like in any genre of music, even it's always gonna be sub-genres. It's always gonna be differences inside the genre. You know what I'm saying? Like if the theological rappers feel like that's what they need to do to get their message across, then by all means do it, because there are fans of that. You know what I'm saying? There are people who look for that, and like what Lecrae's doing and Andy Mineo and all those guys. Like you said, you can tell at their heart that they for God. I mean, I'm all for that too. I mean, as far as like my music, I would lean more towards like Lecrae and anime, because I want people to. I want the message I want to convey also is that I'm a young black man who is living for God in a society who pretty much hates God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my music, I want to like, and like Lecrae's like probably one of my favorite. I like him a lot because of the way he's able to rap from another person's perspective. You know what I'm saying? But do it in a way to show people what God intended for us to look like. You know, like he could say, I could rap about money and drugs and getting high, but why let the rest of y'all pin that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We know that ain't no theology. We know that's not a Bible verse. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that is the right path to take. Like, I mean, that's telling the youth, like, in a swagged out way that, hey, you don't need to smoke and get high and do all that. You know what I'm saying?
People say I'm crazy for giving up everything. This world's gonna hate me. But one day he's coming back and he gonna take me away, away, so far away. Away. Like than hustling, chasing the cream. You lose your whole life eternally chasing the dream. When the director yells cut, that's the end of your scene. They roll the credits, all the people forget you. That vanity you worship only lasted for the moment. See your death all around you, but you never heed the warning. Cause you was more concerned with the cars and the home. Confirmation from these people, a closet full of clothes. Man, you better wake up, they sleeping on the king. When you die, you think you failed to exist. That's a myth, stop believing what they saying on the TV, it's a trick. Got a pocket full of lit, but homie, I'm still rich. Yeah, think I'm out of my mind, you think I'm senile. You feel it deep inside, but homie, you still AD now. When Christ cracked the sky like a 745, I be hopping on my ride and I'm out. People say I'm crazy for giving up everything. This world's gon' hate me, but one day he's coming back and he gon' take me away, away, so far away, away. On the block, get money from coke fiends. That pathway to death, his life is a smoke screen. But still he walk around like I wish somebody would. I put him in the dirt and brag about it in my hood. See Jigga wrote a verse on how to get him cross state. Ricky Ross even showed him how to move a little weight. See, I wrote a song, dope boys in the trap. That's exactly where the devil wants you at. Matter of fact, these rap cats is lying in they mansions and Porsches. You on the block dying for respect and some Jordans. Nobody ever told him God had a better plan. The father sent his son in the form of a man, but we'd rather sit back and watch him pass by. That same night they shot him in the head and he died. Another lost soul you was too afraid to reach. You know we need to get up in these streets. People say I'm crazy for giving up everything. This world's gon' hate me, but one day he's coming back and he gon' take me away, away, so far away. Keep having visions of his body laying in the grave. He know the feelings cause he'd rather hear him scream his name. He'll even probably sell his soul to feel to get him paid. Cause all he ever really wanted was that custom kitted, that new addition, that candy paint dripping, sleeping with different women. But then he lay at night and he can tell there's something missing. Constantly getting high, so you never keep him lifted. Sad, the fading light of a star that wanna be the sun. He always in a crowded room but still he feel alone. Don't even recognize himself the time they play his song. He oversleeping on life, never hear the alarm. Cause in this world, see homie, you're great king, but to the real king, he's only a lost sheep. I wake up in a cold sweat, can't help but cry, man. That same night I gave my life to Christ. People say I'm crazy for giving up everything. This world's gon' hate me, but one day he's coming back and he gon' take me away, away, so far away, away. Giving up everything, this world's gon' hate me. They gon' hate me. But one day he's coming back and he gon' take
Yeah, now and I understand everyone can't just just rap scripture. That's what I do. I just open up the Bible. I just open up the Bible and just start rapping, scripture. You know what I'm saying? John 3:16. For God so loved the world. He gave his only son. So that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Just killing it. Bars, you know what I mean? Bars.
It depends on how you bring it. You never know.
But everybody's not like that. Exactly. My question is, now as a Christian rapper, now like you're on stage, you have spotlight. A lot lately, like everyone's been putting their attention towards Lecrae or whatever, or the 116 in general, because they seem to be like in the light right now.
Right.
How do you handle, like, one, do you think that we are looking at Lecrae too much, or the 116 in general too much for standard? And also, how do you feel about people looking at you and as you do your ministry for the Lord as well, like as even a standard that whatever?
One, like looking at Lecrae's situation, man, I'm like inspired. And I mean, I'm extremely like happy for him, also praying for him, because understand like where he's at right now, and it's a lot of persecution, it's a lot coming at him. But man, I mean, I'm happy for him because, like, although I didn't know like anything like prior to church close, I had heard about his grind and had heard about how long he'd been doing it. And I know for God to put him in the situation that he's in, it's not like nothing he's done like specifically. It just God showed some type of favor on his life for a reason. Like God predestined for him. God knew rap was gonna be popular amongst us, our generation. You know what I mean? So I just look at it like God gave him an opportunity to use hip hop to, you know what I'm saying, spread the message of Jesus Christ, like whether it be like spin theology or whether it just being showing people like, hey, look at me, I live for Jesus, but I'm having so much fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? As for me, like, I mean, like I ask for prayer all the time because it is easy to get caught up in like the pats on the backs, or like, oh man, or the nice compliments, you know what I'm saying? And to also like, anybody that's been rapping for a lengthy period of time, like you do appreciate affirmation for your efforts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And everybody would like to have, somebody tell you.
You don't want nobody to tell you that was whack.
You whack. You know what I'm saying? but you do need those people in your corner to let you know that
the real.
The real, like, that wasn't the business.
I had them people like pretty much my whole little career, like, you know what I'm saying? I got cousins. I got one cousin, he'll keep it so 100 to the point where I really value his opinion. Yeah. And now when he says something like, oh man, that was good, I'm like, yo, thanks. Yeah. You
like it? Yeah. Then we out here.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, you know what? I think that as believers, it's always interesting to me as believers, like even in scripture, like there's so much in God's word that we look at and we have differences in opinion in, but then we get to music and don't act like that people aren't gonna have differences in opinion or like what everything, like just because this may not be your flavor here, don't mean that it's necessarily wrong.
And that's what I was trying to say.
Or anything like that. And I think that stuff is getting better on some ends and stuff isn't, but the type of unity that we should have, we don't. But I also think that all things work the way that the Lord's supposed them to work. Like he didn't want everybody to, like this or do this or whatever. Like everybody not gonna be a Lecrae, everybody not gonna be an Andy Mineo, everybody not gonna be a Flash. Like no matter whatever you are, like everybody not gonna be that. So just be in your lane and play your lane and do whatever. Man. But anyway, I think let me digress off Lecrae. He done got enough pub. He got enough on his plate.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so Flash.
Yup.
Since let's get into personal Flash. Since last year, even
right,
you done had a lot of life changes.
My whole life changed.
You got signed to a label,
right?
You got married,
right?
And you had a kid,
right?
You tired,
man?
Yeah, are you getting any sleep?
Yeah, I get sleep. I mean, but I always went to sleep late. I always was a stay up late type person. So it don't affect me none. It is life altering, but I think in a good way.
Yeah. Oh man. Like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you for me.
Right.
When I got married, like stuff, my eyes were open so much to myself.
All your groupies fell to the wayside. Huh?
Yeah. It made me look at myself differently. Like, man, I'm responsible for my wife, and start making me realize how selfish I was in certain areas. It even made scripture mean more in certain areas, because now you understand that relationship, like between okay, you love your wife like Christ loved the church, and then all right, okay, well, she made me mad, but all right, do we do God right by God all the time?
No, we don't.
But he's still faithful and all that stuff. And so marriage was crazy when I got married. Like, opened my eyes a whole bunch. Then when I had my daughter, I was like, life just to another level. And then scripture to another level made sense, because now I have that relationship of a father to a daughter,
right? Like God,
and now my daughter will do stuff, and I'd be like, man, that's me to God. Like, this crazy. Anyway, so
she'll keep messing with stuff when you tell her not
to. Yeah.
Oh man, but man, it's a feeling, man, that I never be able to put in a rap song like completely. You know what I mean? I just can't sit down and be like, write the perfect song to explain how I feel. Like, coming from a culture where marriage was bad. You have a kid, but have it from afar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be there for every it's easy because like, if you look at the way our society looks at us, like, we have kids, but we not interacting with them. So it's easy. Like, I got a kid out there, but I don't have to have the responsibilities of taking care of a kid.
The unfortunate part is the standard for being a good dad or a good father in the black community is so low that, like, everything that I do as a guy, as a man, as a father now, like, I get so much accolades for doing like what I'm supposed to do.
I be feeling bad, bro. I think about that same thing. I be thinking, like, when people come up to you and be like, "Oh man, I like seeing fathers," and I post up a picture of me and my daughter doing stuff, and people
like, man, you're such a good dad,
right?
Like, I put some pictures on Facebook, you
right,
know what I'm saying?
Man? But this my seed, like, this.
But for me, if you need me to do something for you,
right,
and I just happen to got my kids, you get me and my kids.
Exactly.
Like, the people like, well, why don't you leave them with the mama? Why don't you drop them off here? They my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I'm going, they coming with me, and that's just how it is.
Right. She ain't going to the studio with me though. I never record a song. She came to the studio.
Oh, bro.
You'll hear her in the background, like, man,
Bruh.
that song was hot, but you got your daughter doing ad libs.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I got my daughter used to actually coming down here in the studio with me, and when I'm doing stuff, like she chill for the most part,
right,
until I'm trying to do some stuff on the keyboard or the piano. Then she want to add to the beat with me. And even at church, I do the audio at church.
Right.
Every time I edit the sermon, I have to edit her screaming out of the sermon.
Man. It's so crazy, man.
Every Sunday. But anyway, man, it's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Marriage, kids. Yeah. But now you signed to label, all this stuff is happening.
Right.
If you could get one thing across to the people that are listening here, like what do you want them to know about your heart?
Just pretty much, I mean, like as I bring music for anything, like I want people to just know how much of like a radical like I really am, like how much I want to show the youth. Like I have a heart for the youth. I always work with the youth, but I wanted and growing up as a teenager, I could remember how apprehensive I was, like how I was so like afraid to stand up for what I believe in.
Yeah. Because
I thought it was uncool, especially when you talked about Jesus.
Yeah.
It's more than just music, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somebody come up to me and be like, "Hey man, I mean you done found your purpose. You rap." Like I'm like, rap is not my purpose. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the tools that God has given me to, you know what I'm saying, to get out here and spread the word, but I haven't placed all my hopes and dreams in rap. Like all my hopes and dreams are in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm 50 years old, I'm not gonna be rapping no more. But then you saying like I have no more purpose after after that. You know what I mean? Like I have realized what my purpose is, and my purpose really is to point people to Jesus and to worship Him. Man, it's just like, if I gave you an invention I created and expected you to figure it out, you wouldn't be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So God invented me, and He's had the manual all along. Yeah. Now He showed me how I'm supposed to work. Yeah. Now I know. Now that drives me. It's just like hip hop is one of the components. It's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't want people thinking that I'm just gonna just try to step on people or get involved in some quote unquote dog eat dog mentality to become the best. Like I'm not trying to be the greatest rapper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I do want to take my craft to another level because I love music. I love art. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I want my music to mature. I want it to grow musically. But I mean, you know, once that's a wrap, then still pushing for Christ, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. So what can we expect as far as musically from iWitness and from Flash in the future?
I mean, right now, I'm still like I'm on tour for Amnesia, doing the Amnesia tour. Yeah. You know, went to Alabama and Tennessee. About to hit up St. Louis. Got Texas on the schedule. So my label made his way. He's about to release an album. It's called No Fear, and Box is gonna do his last hurrah, and then we're gonna do a compilation. You know what I'm saying? Be His Way, Box, and Sheep. You know what I mean? Word. The Empire 2. You know, whatever they're gonna call it.
Empire Strikes Back.
It's Empire Strikes Back. That's what I told them, but they don't want to take my idea. But you know, me right now, honestly, I'm so inspired to do music. I'm probably just gonna get in the studio and just record a lot of material. And when it comes time for me to put out an album, then I can just go through that, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So we about to get up out of here, but right. I got a couple of questions that I have to ask. Right. And they are gonna determine whether you'll ever be back, or if I ever play your music again on the Microwave Music Podcast. All right, here they go.
Right.
Question number 1. Gates or Arthur Bryans?
Gates.
Okay. Question number 2. Martin or Fresh Prince?
Man, you hit me with all. I'm gonna go with Martin though.
Oh, you gonna go with Martin?
Oh, I said you're
Rome
wrong in the house. Watch your mouth. Take it on the tower.
I can respect that. I can respect.
But I was just thinking about Martin the other day. Like, you got to think about how hard Martin worked on this show, how multi-talented. He played more than one character, bro. Like,
he did.
The dude was just crazy with
What's
it.
What's the best character?
The best was Jerome in the high ooh ah. Watch your mouth.
I have to disagree. I have to respectfully disagree because you don't get no better than Dragonfly Jones.
Oh yeah,
you don't get no better than Dragonfly Jones. I mean, I'm sorry.
Jerome was just funny, man.
Jerome was
only reason he was real funny because he reminded me of one of the uncles I had. Like,
hilarious.
I was like, look at Uncle.
I think everybody has an uncle like one of Martin's characters.
Man, that junk is crazy.
One of Martin's characters is somebody's uncle.
Right.
All right. So okay. So you pick Martin over Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince was the business though. It was
dope,
but anyway, I digress. All right. Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Boys in the Hood. Yup. Boys in the Hood, man.
All right, I give you that one.
Boys in the Hood. That movie kind of scared me.
Yeah, that was
first. I was like, life? This is really life.
Yeah,
that's how they get it in out there.
Yeah,
on the West Coast, boy.
Yeah, they crazy.
I'm from the deep South, so I mean, we got our hoods and shoot 'em up spots, but it was different. And Cali, boy, you bump into somebody, they're gonna be gunning for you.
And they try to make it like Hollywood is. Like, let's just focus on Hollywood and Rodeo Drive.
Nah,
we don't know that all the outside
Compton
of that. Yeah, Compton. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, man. I might have some. I mean, speaking of musically, might have some nice little features on the way. I was featured on my boy Just B's latest project, Therapy.
Yeah,
which is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, Just B is another one of these, I guess, up and comers who was definitely coming up on the scene in KC and doing some big things. Big shout out to Shock Music and everybody doing it over there. Shock been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, he's a legend in the game.
Yeah, he all right. Shock all right.
Yeah,
all right. Me cool. All right. One more question. Power Rangers.
Power Rangers, yep.
Or Ninja Turtles.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
But I actually prayed to be a Power Ranger when I was a kid. I was like, God, you do it.
All right.
I want to be a Power Ranger.
All right. Which Ranger did you want to be?
I was the Green Ranger and turned into a white. See how he got saved? You see how he went from darkness to light?
Come on, now. That's Bible. That's scripture right there.
Scriptural.
That's scripture.
Bruh.
See, blow the trumpet.
Right.
Blow the trumpet.
Blow the trumpet.
Oh, come on now. That boy preaching now.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Chiefs or Royals?
Chiefs. I'm a football fan. I'm not a huge baseball fan.
Even though the Royals in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Probably going to the World Series. And that's prophecy right now.
That I get. I mean, if they do, I want them to go. I mean, I'm honored that I get to witness it in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I've never been in a city where they won a championship for anything. You know what I mean? I was in a state where they won a championship.
Yeah.
But like a professional, like we ain't got professional sports in Alabama, so being here, man, it's good, man, to see that.
All right. Well, the way that you answered those questions leads me to believe that you may not be 100% saved.
I am,
but
I thought you were gonna ask me like spit something. I was like, oh, this how you gauge if I'm coming back. Spit a freestyle.
I actually am gonna have you spit here in a second, but I had to get those questions out of there for the people,
right?
So they know what type of character that you have.
Yeah, you know,
your character.
I'm a stand-up guy, man.
All right, so We about to have Flash spit something. I'm about to find this a beat. I ain't gonna have you can spit acapella.
I spit acapella.
You gonna spit an acco?
I spit the acco. It don't matter.
All right, hold on. Let's weigh our options.
Let's weigh our options.
Let's weigh our options.
I see what the beats sound like, you know.
Yo, Music Microwave Podcast, MMP. You know we couldn't get up out of here without having Flash spit some bars. I don't know who made this beat, but his mug sound crazy. It sound like beats by Trey.
God with me, homie, who can be against me? Switch to gospel rapping, people thought that I was tripping.
Flash.
Really, this ain't no gimmick. You blind without the spirit. Tried to tell them that my premise really the Great Commission. Simply go and make disciples, baptize them in the fire, even though the odds against me high as the Eiffel Tower. So I press on like cornerbacks against the best receivers. It ain't easy, but I know that Jesus coaches all believers. Yeah, said I'm out of my mind. I put Christ in my rhymes, so they putting me down. Yeah, it's all good. It ain't about me anyway. When the Son of Man return, let's see what you gotta say. Then I was dying to live, now I'm living to die. I was willing to quit, now I'm eager to try. Got my glow from the King, simply look in my eyes. All my scales been removed, now I'm ready to fly. Take off, so homie, get your hate on. I'm on a diet of living water to get this weight off. So homie, me without the spirit, Hoper without the millions. It don't matter how you feeling, really ain't no coming near it. If I have to die, I'm ready. I'm notorious for Jesus. I never finished college, every song is like a thesis. No cap and gown for martyrs, every step a little harder. Granted, heard I did Christian rap, she hot down.
Hey, yo, no, I'ma keep it. I'ma keep it. Yeah, you kind of fell off at the end, but that's fine. I'm keeping it. Hey, Music Microwave Podcast. It's the Music Microwave Podcast. That's why I don't rap or sing, because that was terrible.
Yeah.
End of the beat right here.
Yeah.
Music Microwave Podcast.
And the rum. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Flash.